Welcome to part 2 of the Agile Management in Healthcare tutorial series. We start an Agile program in a medical organization by conducting a gap analysis, which tells us where to focus our energies to get the highest return in the organization. We describe how to do a gap analysis in some detail in other videos at healthprocesspartners.com, but for this video, let's assume we've already conducted a gap analysis and that we're focusing on a particular gap that we're going to address with a custom app that we're going to develop. And the way we develop a custom app is that we build an HL7 interface and then we build up the app from that HL7 interface. And this is a very straightforward process, and we describe the technical aspects of it in other videos at healthprocesspartners.com. But for this video, let's assume that we know that's the approach we're taking and we have a product, and we want to talk about how to use Agile management techniques in order to produce that product. So we start by defining what the product is by labeling the gap it's going to address and how it's going to address that gap. And this involves identifying several different types of user groups who would need to interface with the app and what functionality each of those user groups would need. This information gets structured into a backlog, which is an ordered list of user stories that are each one sentence long that state what user group, what functionality, and why that user group needs that specific functionality in one sentence at a time. So there's a long list of these one sentences, and there's other structured information that elaborates upon these one sentence summaries. So then we take information items out of that backlog on an ongoing basis in what we call sprints, which could be 2 weeks long or 4 weeks long depending on your organization. And in each one of these sprints, the product owner, who's helped you with these earlier phases as well, is a person who presents the highest priority items and negotiates with the development team to figure out which items are going to be produced in terms of functioning, working technology by the end of the sprint. And your development team could be one person who's a full stack developer who handles everything from the server up through the user interface and everything in between, or it could be a group of 5 to 10 people with different aspects of all those skills depending on the budget and scope of your project and your organization. But in any event, at the end of a sprint, you've got functioning product, and it may take several sprints in order to get a minimum viable product, but at some point you're able to release the product so that the gap starts to be addressed. It's not such a big gap anymore. You're starting to get return on investment, and you're also getting very important feedback from the users so that you're able to evolve the user stories and evolve the backlog and put new things through the sprints. And you continue this process until the gap has been resolved, and then you move on to the next gap.